Hey everyone, ready to totally rethink being single? We're doing a deep dive into Happy Single today, 2021 by Arnaud Veere.
Yeah, this book, it's not your usual dating advice. More like if you've ever felt a little left out, world's all about couples. This is for you.
Totally. And I was floored by how it says we're not all just destined to be paired off from day one. I mean, nobody grows up dreaming of being single,
Yeah.
right? Everyone wants that fairy tale thing. So how come so many end up single then?
Big question the book is tackling. It kind of says maybe, just maybe, this whole couple obsession hides how awesome single life can be. The good parts get lost.
Okay, so unpack that. The book, it actually starts with defining single. And it's not just are you dating? It's deeper. Yeah.
Totally. Authors single means independent, no legal or money ties, making your choices. It's a whole mindset relying on yourself being your own person.
Which is key why, right? Being single isn't just your status. It's a whole stage of life with its own perks. And while we're on changing relationships, the book, it talks about living apart together too. LA, committed, but separate houses. Are they really single though? Makes you wonder.
That one bends the rules for sure, shows how blurry things are getting. But for this deep dive, let's stick with the book's definition, the solid single, as our starting point.
Works for me. Now, the biggie, the question everyone's thinking but won't say, is single better than a relationship?
Book jumps right in, admits no single answer for everyone, but it makes a strong case, for the good stuff nobody talks about. Being single, huge chance to grow as a person.
And this is where our listeners, all about that self-improvement, are going to love it. Book says it's not just being alone. It's using that time right to invest in you, your passions, being comfy, just being you.
Exactly. Building that strong base, knowing yourself, being independent. So if or when you're in a relationship, you're whole already, not looking to be completed.
So powerful, especially because society is single, what's wrong? But the book's saying, hey, it can be empowering, especially for women.
100%. And here's where the book gets real, about the pressures singles face, especially from families. Getting hitched, having kids, that whole expectation.
Like when your aunt's all, so when are you settling down? For the millionth time. Ugh.
Right. But the book goes deeper. It's this is biology and society at play. Compares it to animals even. We're wired to seek connection, belonging. Going against that, tough stuff inside and out, especially for our listeners, feeling that pull between what they want, what family expects.
So it's not just rebelling, it's fighting your own instincts.
Yeah.
Adds a whole layer, right?
Yeah.
Especially for our listeners, feeling that tug of war, what they want versus what family is pushing.
And it's not just family, right? The book even gets into religion, how it views being single. It's messy, creates its own conflicts.
Because on one hand, it's a higher calling. Yeah. Priests, monks, nuns, all that. Yeah. Dedicating themselves. But then huge pressure on everyone else to marry, have kids. The book's is this really about faith or about control?
Bold statement. But it shows, right, how outside forces mess with how we see being single, pushing us onto paths maybe we don't even want.
It's society's always sending these messages, subtle and not so subtle, about what a good life is. And usually there's a couple in the picture. But this book, it's question that. Is that what makes you happy? Truly.
It's forget the rules, what makes you a success. Sometimes that means going against the grain big time.
Which is scary. But the book's right. It's also freeing. And speaking of, challenging what's normal, it goes there on gender, how being a single woman is just different.
Yeah, and it's not about blaming anyone, but you got to see how power, back in the day, still affects us now. Men, historically, they had it all, and in lots of ways, they still do.
And the book doesn't just say that. It connects it to, real life for single women. Unequal pay, what's expected when you date.
Exactly. And while it's real talk about those challenges, it's also women are strong, you know, forging their own way, redefining what single and female even means when society's trying to shove them in a box.
Taking back control of their story. That's powerful, something our listeners get.
For sure. And speaking of choosing your path, the dating advice. Surprisingly good, even now, for this whole digital age thing.
I was iffy on that, honestly. Books from 2021, dating apps change constantly. But some stuff is timeless.
The marketing angle, that's smart. Online profile, it's not just looking cute and saying you like hiking, it's strategy. You're the product, gotta sell it right.
You're the brand, basically.
Exactly. Show your real personality, values, what makes you you. One thing that stuck out, talk about your passions, but not just listing them. How do they change you, what you've learned?
Finding someone who's into that, not just a fake online you.
Right. And this one's so key now with everything being virtual, cam chat before meeting up. Especially international dating. Book's big on that.
Okay, at first I was like, really? Still? But think about it, especially now, virtual's huge. It's low pressure, you get a vibe before committing to meeting up, maybe traveling or whatever.
Super valuable, especially across cultures, distances. Book's smart, though. It says set ground rules for those calls. Everyone's safe, respectful.
Good reminder, however we're meeting people. Speaking of safety, the book gets real about dating downsides, especially internationally. Red flags, we all need a refresher on that.
Totally. Knowing the risks, asking the right questions, trusting your gut. It's giving you power, right?
Yeah.
Verifying someone is who they say, not giving away too much info too fast, understanding how dating works in different places.
Like a mini guide for dating abroad. So helpful now that the world's so connected.
And as much as dating's exciting, it can be scary too. The book tackles something we forget. Money. Single and finance is a whole other thing.
It's easy to get swept up in the romance, but being single, it's a different money game. Good and bad, really.
Totally. Single people. Often higher costs because you're on your own for everything, couple split. It stresses being organized, especially for women. Historically, they haven't always been taught about money, how to be independent that way.
Like the book saying, be fierce, not just in dating, but with your bank account too.
Yes. And that's empowering. Book says when it's just you, you control your money more. More freedom to save, invest, end up more financially secure.
Flipping the script. People think singles are irresponsible, but the book's like, nope, it's a chance to build a strong foundation without the compromises of couple money.
Recognizing those advantages, it's a good thing no matter your age.
It's like the book's not just saying survive single life, but like totally rock it, even when the world feels designed for couples.
And one thing that helps, having your people. The book's big on support systems.
Which we think romance, right. But it's huge single too, maybe even more so.
Definitely. We all need that. Someone to listen, cheer you on, have your back. Friends, family, mentors, even online groups makes a world of difference when being single's tough.
Your own cheer squad.
Yeah.
And it's not just getting support. The book's like, give back too. Feels good. Volunteering, helping a friend, just being there for others.
Exactly. Single or not, we've all got something to offer. Helping out, it makes the world better and you feel good.
Like that saying, the more you give. And this is interesting because the book talks about getting older single. A whole other thing.
People don't talk about it much, lots of stigma, but the book's like, nope, being single doesn't end at a certain age.
Right. It's not like you hit 40 and poof, no more need for connection or whatever.
Exactly. You get stronger with age, wiser. Book says don't see it as going downhill, but keep growing, keep discovering yourself.
And being single later could be more freedom, new hobbies, travel, or just peace and quiet. On your own terms?
It's like society saying, you should be coupled up by now. And the book's like, actually, there's no should about it.
Love that. Honor your path, however you find joy at any age.
And you can find it everywhere. Hobbies you love, nature, good friends, or even just quiet moments, being grateful.
It's that shift, right? From what we think our life should be to appreciating what it is right now, single or not.
And that's this whole book, boiled down, love your life as it is, single, whatever. Happiness isn't from someone else, it's from inside.
So, wrapping up our Happy Single Deep Dive. My takeaway for everyone listening, embrace where you're at, don't be afraid to be different, and you decide what happiness means. Single isn't waiting for a partner, it's its own amazing adventure. Tons of chances to grow, connect, find joy.
And hey, you never know, maybe you living your best single life, that'll inspire someone else. We make the world more accepting, one single person at a time.